What's up guys, this is Coop from GarageGymReviews.com and today I'm reviewing this. This is quite possibly the biggest, baddest, most feature-filled squat rack in the entire world. This is the Sorinex BASECAMP Uber squat rack and this is our definitive in-depth review. Let's get it! Welcome guys. Before I get into the meat of the review, I want to provide a little bit of a disclaimer. This is going to be a detailed review. So this is going to be, as you can probably tell by the timestamp, this is going to be a little bit longer review than we usually do on YouTube. As you guys are well aware, if you go to the website, GarageGymReviews.com, for every review that we do on YouTube, we do something that's much more in-depth and detailed on our website. And you know, the review that we did on this rack is about 5,000 words and all kinds of pictures, everything you could think of. But what I want to do is try to take that idea and apply it to YouTube and see if it's something you guys are into. So I'm going to be going into all sorts of details and things that, you know, I think you should be looking at when purchasing this squat rack. And I think it's for a good reason. It's an expensive squat rack. So the more money you pay, I think the more you want to see what you're getting for your money. But let's go ahead and get into it. First off, I want to talk about the size and overall build of the rack. The Sorinex BASECAMP Uber is, and this is all their base camps, is rated at 69 inches in length, 47 inches wide, and just over 100 inches. It's like 101.4 inches or something very specific like that. Well, 69 inches in length is kind of a standard length, but the last two, the width and the height, are not standard. 47 inches wide is actually thinner than what you see a lot of 3x3 tubing racks to be. If you look at the Rogue Monster rack, for instance, it's 49 inches, okay? That may not mean a whole lot, but once you start using the rack, having that 2 extra inches of space of clearance, 1 inch on either side for the barbell and the collars to fit on the J-hooks, that's a big deal. That's something that's very beneficial, something that's very helpful, and something that you'd immediately notice once you had the rack. In addition to that, the height of this rack, it's enormous, okay? It's really hard to put it into words just how big this rack is until you get it in person. I know you see videos and pictures of these racks and they look big, but they don't really look that big until you're standing in front of one and looking up at it, getting ready to enter the rack to squat. It's huge. Okay, 101.4 inches. It's a little bit over 8.5 feet, or close. It's close to 8.5 feet. I don't think it's over 8.5 feet, but it's close to 8.5 feet. It's a tall rack. It's taller than most racks that you're going to buy from just about any other company out there. And it's for good reason. They're catering to a lot of D1 strength programs, professional strength programs, guys that are taller than the average person. Okay, and in fact, they actually do custom work, and I'll get into that in a little bit, but they do so much custom work that they've actually made squat racks that are over 10 feet tall for guys that play in the NBA, for like the Philadelphia 76ers and all those different things. But the standard BASECAMP rack that comes with it is 101.4 inches. It's massive, it's huge. It is, it uses 3x3 posts, which is kind of standard of the upper echelon of racks that use 1 inch hole fasteners, or 1 inch bolt fasteners, excuse me, with 1 inch holes. That's going to make the rack stronger, but it's not really something you're going to notice other than the look of the rack. I mean, this thing is beefy, okay? And if you put the smaller 5/8 inch fasteners on there, you'd definitely be able to tell a difference, but the 1 inch just kind of blows it up. And that's kind of standard for this kind of rack. Rogue Monster series use the same 1 inch bolt fasteners, and they just look great. In addition to that, the Sorinex racks, all of them, but the BASECAMP Uber specifically, has the 4-way hole design, okay? And this is something that, you know, we're probably used to at this point, but Sorinex was one of the first companies to come out with the 4-way hole post design. Okay, so what that means is you can have attachments on any upright, okay? Because not just are the front and the backs of the uprights have holes in them, the outside does, the inside does, the cross members on the bottom, the cross members on the top, everything that's basically holding this rack together has holes in it that you can use for attachments. And I'll get into those attachments in a little bit. But basically, if you have something you want to do on this rack, or you want to attach other racks to it, you can do it. And that's the benefit of this design. Now, I first want to say, because I'm going to get a lot of questions, how does this compare to, say, the Rogue Monster series? This rack is not comparable, in my opinion, to the Rogue Monster series. Okay, a lot of people get it confused, and I have in the past too, but the rack that Sorinex makes that's most comparable to the Rogue Monster series is the XL rack, and I actually have one in my garage. I'm going to do a review here soon and kind of a comparison between that and the Rogue Monster series. But the BASECAMP is something that really Rogue doesn't offer anything close to it. And the reason I say that is because the BASECAMP system, the one that I have here, is fully welded on the panel. So the panels are fully welded. What that means is it's going to be a stronger rack, but you're not really ever going to have any worry about the rack, you know, having any problems due to the strength if it was bolted or if it was welded. The main reason they do this is so you can connect racks together, okay? Because you got to remember, Sorinex isn't designed or it didn't first come about to help the home gym person. They came out to help the pro strength athletes, the D1 strength programs. And what they do is their racks are made so they can connect a ton together. So basically, if you have less bolting going on and you have more welds, that means you have more holes and you have more options to connect bridges and racks and attachments and pull-up bars and everything you can think of. I mean, there's so many different companies out there, or so many different organizations out there that have used Sorinex. So you look at Purdue University, Oregon University, Oklahoma City Thunder. I've heard the Navy SEAL team has them. U.S. Army has used some of their stuff. Air Force. Basically, you name some sort of high-end organization that deals with performance, they're likely going to have some sort of Sorinex in their gym, in their training facility. And that's what they're designed for. Now, the BASECAMP can be used in the garage gym. I'm doing it, and it's incredible. But for most people, it's overkill. I'll talk about that a little bit later, but right now, let's talk a little bit more about the build of the rack. So one thing about the rack that's so special is the customization that's available. Every part of the rack is customizable. Now, I know this can also be done through other companies, but one reason that Sorinex, for instance, has a call for price on their website, and I know I'm going to get tons of questions on the price. I'm not going to say it through here. If you guys want to find out a price, call them. You can make an order. If you want to post the price in the comments, that's fine with me, but I'm going to leave that up to them. I do wish, and I'm going to talk about this later, but I do wish they did have the prices on their website, but there's some reasons for that. But let's just say this is an expensive rack, okay? But one reason it's so expensive is because there's customization options. And if you're going to do those customization options, you've got to call in and go through the rigmarole of everything that they have, okay? Everything can be customized. Everything from the height, the length, the uprights, how many holes there are, how many hole numbers there are, accessories, colors, you name it, it can be customized. And one thing that comes with the BASECAMP Hoover standard is the laser cut hole numbers. And there's laser cut hole numbers not just on the front and the back of the posts, but also on the bottom and top cross members, on the outside and the inside, okay? This is just another feature that, you know, you look at the price and say, wow, that's a lot, but you think about how much time goes into cutting every hole number, every hole, welding it, bolting it together, everything. I mean, it's an expensive rack, and, you know, they're expensive for certain reasons, but one of the reasons is because that it's a big rack and it takes a lot of time and a lot of effort to put together. Now, the laser cut hole numbers are great. You know, for the general public, for the home gym, it's not a huge deal, because if you're working by yourself, you're not going to be changing out the J-cups too often, but they're made for the big facilities, like I've said, that want efficiency and want to be able to say, all right, if you're 5'9" to 5'10", put the J-cup at this number. You know, that sort of thing. That's what really the hole numbers are great for. But for the home gym owner, they're great too, because you can remember where things are going and you can align your J-cups, your safeties, and everything like that very easily. Now, the color that I chose was the clear grind. This is the color that I think is the absolute best. It's the reason I chose it. Clear grind, basically what they do is they take a standard upright or standard post, then they take a grinder and they grind the crap out of it and make it look like really unique and have a lot of character. And then over top of that, they do a clear powder coat. And if any of you have used the Elite FTS SS yoke, you're aware of what the clear powder coat is, because that bar uses the same clear powder coat. They just take the rack and then they just put this clear powder coat over it, and it looks great. One of the advantages of the clear grind is, one, it's going to have more character than any other rack. It's a one-of-a-kind rack. They can't make the grind marks look the exact same on every rack. And just to say, I mean, this rack has clear grind on every square inch of it, okay? They don't just do one side or part of it. They don't miss any of it. I'm talking the top, bottom, everywhere has the grind marks all over it. Now, it's also got like different things. If you look at the rack, there's just all this different cool stuff that you can see. of just the way the rack's been built, the leftover from the heat marks of the welds, everything like that. Now, some of you may not like that. You may just like a clean squat rack. I get it, but for somebody who's going to use the rack a lot and going to chip it up and mess it up, I like the clear grind because if anything happens, even if the powder coat chips, which it will, it's powder coat, if it chips, you're not really going to be able to tell like you would if it was black or yellow or some other color, because it's just going to look just like a grind. You're not really even going to tell that it's been chipped. So that's one advantage. Another is any of the accessory colors that you choose with it are going to pop and match extremely well. I chose red because I think it looks really good, but you've seen schools like Oregon, they use, their yellow and their green that looks really well, or University of Tennessee even, that use an orange. It just pops and goes really well with the clear grind. I mean, you can use the clear grind with anything, but they're about the only company I've seen that offer the clear grind. Every other company I see that offers a clear powder coat, they don't offer the grind, and they don't do it for any extra cost for the powder coat, which is pretty cool. So now that I've talked about like the base of the rack, the BASECAMP, let me talk about like the Uber package and all the accessories that come with that, because you may want to choose the Uber package, or you may just want to buy some of the individual accessories. And just so you know, most of these accessories are going to work with your Rogue Monster series rack. So if you like these accessories and want to use them with those, I'm pretty sure there's compatibility there. I'm not positive, but I would guess there is based upon the hole size and everything like that. But the Sorinex BASECAMP Uber series is basically the all-out, you don't care how much it costs, you just want the best, you want the most. That's the rack that I've got here, okay? This is the best one that they offer, the most expensive one that they offer, and comes with the most things. So I want to talk a little bit about the accessories, and the first thing I want to talk about is the J-cups. The J-cups are outstanding. They have multiple styles, but the one that comes with the Uber system and the ones that I have are the sandwich style J-hooks. Now, you can also get just your standard J-hook that has the platform. They actually use like this little piece underneath the platform to strengthen it, which is pretty cool. But the sandwich style are great. They use UHMW plastic, a big fat piece, a big strong piece in between two slabs of metal that are welded together, and then it's bolted in. They're great. They protect the barbell real well. They're safe. And I think really the biggest benefit is, like I said, they protect the knurl on the barbell. And that's the reason that most people choose them. But they're also typically weighted for more weight than your older style J-cups. If you're going to get a rack like this, you might as well get the best J-cups and accessories you can. This is a rack that's going to last you forever. Now, I was told by a sales rep from Sorinex that if the UHMW plastic goes out, you don't have to go on their website and order it or anything like that. Maybe it's something they'll change in the future, but from what I'm told is you just give a call to Sorinex and they'll send you a new set out free of charge, which is pretty cool. They also do that for their safety bars and things like that. But I am a big fan of the J-cups. One thing that I don't like about the J-cups, and one thing that I don't really like about all parts of the rack, and this is a nitpicky thing, but it's the use of stickers. They use stickers on all the accessories. It's all over the rack. Now, if I'm going to buy a Ferrari, I don't think Ferrari's going to put a $5 sticker on there, right? They're going to spend a lot of money and put a nice emblem badge on there because Ferrari, you want to show off that you own a Ferrari, right? Well, I think the same thing goes for a Sorinex rack. I mean, this is a Ferrari of a squat rack. So I want to see laser cut emblems, laser cut logos, different emblems, things like that if you're going to add logos. If you're not, that's fine. And I'll probably end up just taking the stickers off, which is no big deal. But it's pretty cool to say that you have a Sorinex rack and to show it off. So I would like to see more laser cut logos in the J-cups and all different parts of the rack and just have it come standard. I know it costs a little bit more for the company, but it's going to look great in social media and things like that anyway, so you might as well add the laser cut logos. Other than that, J-cups are great. Next thing I want to talk about is the safety options. So you have full safety bars, you have pin rod safeties that are available. I didn't get those. You also have the slings or the straps, safety straps, and you also have half safety bars. The ones that I have is the full safety bars, half safety bars, and the straps. So I'm going to comment on those. The full safety bars have the same hole pattern and laser cut numbers on the sides as do the uprights, okay? So they're big, they're beefy, they're made to hold a lot of weight. They have the UHMW plastic on top of the full safety bars, so it's going to protect your knurl. I'm also told on those that those can be replaced free of charge by Sorinex if they ever like, you know, wear out over time. But they're great. I mean, I've seen tests where they drop like, I don't know, 1,500, 2,000 pounds from 8 feet up. They drop them on the safety bars, and the safety bars are still, you know, level at the end, okay? These are gonna take anything that you can throw at them, and they can also be utilized for different things, which I'll talk about with some of the other accessories. Okay, the half safety bars are the same thing. They're just cut in half. They don't have the laser cut hole numbers on the sides. I know they can add them if you customize them. I would like to see those added standard, but it's not a huge deal because I don't really attach a whole lot of things to the sides. But they work really well. They have a little bit different design than Rogues. They don't go in and then turn. They go in and then you just put a pin in the side, which I thought was really nice because you don't have to deal with them as much. The other option, and my favorite option, is the straps. Now, each strap is weighted to 10,000 pounds. Okay, so this isn't a Titan Fitness strap that's gonna break in that whole debacle that we saw. These are one that's, you know, they're gonna take whatever you can throw at them. One thing that I do like what Sorinex has done with these is they add this little wear strip on the top and the middle. What this does is if this wears out, that little strip, you can basically just have them send these back in and they'll re-stitch a strap back on top, the wear strip back on top, and send them back out to you. Okay, it's awesome because it prevents the actual strap that's, you know, taking the load and taking the beating from breaking and being basically torn up by your knurl. I think it's great. And they also, you know, protect your knurl really well because they're not metal and things like that. You know, it's just strap, so it's going to work really well on protecting your bar. I'm a huge fan of them, and I think really they're the best option. I've seen people do like log press with them and drop them on the, you know, the straps, and they hold up really well. I've even seen some people use them for like Olympic lifts, jerks, and things like that, which I wouldn't really suggest because it'd probably hurt your bar, but it definitely wouldn't hurt your rack. So if you're just using a crappy bar, you could use that for that as well. Now they're connected by these two metal pieces on either side. They're painted again to match whatever the accessory color that you chose. Really well done. You just put a little bolt in there. Super easy to adjust up and down. I like them quite a bit. Now I do want to say something on the safety straps because Sorinex is the company who really kind of came up with them. And that is, although they're designed to catch the bar on a missed lift, what they were really designed for, which is pretty ingenious, was to save your face on a missed bench rep. So you put the back ones higher, the front ones lower. If you miss a rep, then what it does is it takes the bar away from your face. Awesome idea, and I'm sure it saved quite a few people. So if you have safety straps, maybe something you want to try rather than just making them even, make them a little counterbalance when you're squatting or bench pressing. Next, an accessory that really any squat rack needs to have if it's a full-size squat rack is pull-up bars, different pull-up options. And if you get a big rack like a BASECAMP, then you're going to want a lot of different pull-up options. And Sorinex has a lot of different attachments that are available. The ones that I got was the Batwing bar and the indexing chin system, or indexing chin handles. I like the Batwing bar. They use a standard black powder coat. It's not as rough as Rogues. It's not as slick as Titans. It's a great powder coat. You know, everybody has different preferences on powder coat. I like a more rough style. I know other people like a more smooth style. This is a good middle of the road powder coat. It's going to do really well. I haven't seen it chip at all, and it holds chalk really well, so you get a good grip. I would like to see an option to have those knurled. I know you can have those I know you can have all those customization options available if you call them, but I think it'd be cool if you could just go through their website and just click and say, I want those knurled, and they send them to you. I saw that the University of Tennessee, they've got fat grip Batwing bars that are knurled, which I think is pretty sweet. Now the indexing chin handles, I think is the coolest pull-up implement system anywhere. I think it'd be awesome if every rack had these. So what these do is they index in 8 different basically increments around the world basically. So they turn all the way around 360 degrees and they lock in, okay? Which is very cool. But then in addition to that, they're on this sliding bar, so you can get any width that you want, any angle that you want. They're incredible, okay? But although it's an awesome system, and I hate to dog how great this is because I absolutely love these, one thing that I think could be very improved on these is removing the rubber grips. They put these rubber grips on there, which, you know, are a nice rubber grip, but for a rack like this, most people using this are used to holding metal, used to holding barbells and things like that. I would love to see the rubber replaced with some sort of knurling or maybe even just powder coat a just thicker handle, I think that'd be awesome. Or a way to basically, so you could detach the handles and add different handles to it. I absolutely love the system, but I think they're a little bit detracted by the rubber handles. That's my opinion. You may disagree, and if you do, let me know in the comments below. So I've talked a lot about the J-hooks and those sort of safety accessories. I want to talk about the little more fun stuff that allows more versatility. One of the things I really like about the accessories is the utility seat, okay? The utility seat is, I think, the best accessory they've come up with. I know some other companies may use them, but I think they are awesome. Basically, the utility seat allows you to lock the seat, this little platform, into basically any of the safety bars, both the half and the full safety bars, lock it in, and then use it for whatever movement you want. So you can use it for like a safety squat box. I got rid of my safety squat box from here because I no longer needed it. It can be locked in. You can do step-ups, you could do box jumps, basically anything you can think of, you could use it for. And in fact, the way the rack's designed, because it's like a square, you could actually use it for like a bench, okay? Because the space between the uprights, the front and the back, is 47 inches. So you could use that as a bench and then bench like basically perpendicular to the way the rack runs. I think it's a pretty cool idea. It's got a nice rubber top, and then on bottom it's flat. I think it'd be pretty cool if they got rid of, I don't know, maybe the flat top and put like a padding in there or something if you're going to be using it for a squat box or like a bench, things like that. But I don't know, that may not be something that other people would use, but I think it'd be cool. Now you got to have somewhere to store the seat, and again, they over-engineer and think all this stuff. They've actually got a thing, like a little, I don't know what they call it, but it's some sort of storage rack that goes in the side of the rack that allows you to basically put the utility seat in there. It may be the utility seat storage rack, but allows you to put the utility seat in there. It's got 2 spots for barbells and then like some holes for different pins. It's great, it's out of the way, it's very clean, and it's simple. I mean, it's just a perfect design. I love it, okay? So you can store everything you want in there, hide everything, and just keep it where you want it, out of the way when it's ready to be used. In addition to that, they have leg rollers that attach to the side. They're a full pin and then have leather and some foam on the outside. You can use them for split squats or like Nordic ham curls. They work really well. They look great. I'm a fan of them. You know, there's not much to say about them. They're just, you know, a big thing of foam, but they do them really well, okay? And then lastly, and these don't sound like a big deal, but they're really well done, and that is the adjustable and fixed weight horns, okay? And these are basically weight horns that can be positioned into the rack, bolted down, or have an adjustable cotter pin that you can use for the adjustable versions. The fixed ones go in, you bolt them on, you put the weight on, that's done, okay? They're a nice solid pin with a urethane on them, work really great and protect your nice bumpers. But the ones that I really like are the adjustable ones, and the Uber system comes with like 6 or 8 of them. Okay, and you can put these in any hole on the rack, remember, because it's a 4-hole system. You can put these in any hole of the rack and do dips on them. You can do pull-ups. You can even use the upright as a pegboard. You name it, you can use these things for all sorts of stuff. I've seen people use them for like weight trays if they're doing cleans from the safety bars. I mean, it's endless, okay? You can use them for whatever you want. They last forever. They have a great grip on them. I mean, they're awesome, okay? It's another, again, a simple design executed extremely well. And that's like the name of the game for Sorinex. They're not coming out with all this crazy stuff that you never use. No, this is great stuff that you can use and make up your own exercise and do it really well. And that's one of the things that I really like about this rack and all the things that come with the Uber system. Finally, in the same way that we talk about all the things we'd like to see changed on the website, I want to mention them here. Just some suggested improvements. This rack is great. I really like it. It's incredible. It really is. But as with anything, there are things that I think can be improved and things that you probably see about the rack that can be improved. And I'm just going to summarize them. 1, the laser cut logos. I think that they should remove the stickers and put laser cut logos. I'm not going to hype on it anymore, but I think it'd be a great addition. Next is the index and chin handles. Index and chin handles are awesome, but again, I'd like to see that rubber taken off and add knurl or some other handle. Finally, I love the customization options. I love the customer service, and I've told them this, they know this. I think many people have told them, but I think it needs to be said here. I would love for you to be able to go online, customize a rack, see it all built and everything there, and just have it shipped to your door. I think that would be awesome. I mean, don't you think that would be awesome? Now, I get it. One of the things they offer that's special is their customer service. They have sales reps that'll answer the phones, go through the whole thing with you, and help you out. I get it. It's very cool. It's very old school, and some people really like that, but I think the majority of people today just want the convenience of being able to go online, see the price, and order it. Now, I get the reason they don't, but personally, it's something I'd like to see, and hopefully something that maybe they're working towards in the future. That said, in my opinion, I think this is definitely a rack worth purchasing. For most home gyms, is it worth purchasing? Probably not, because it's so expensive and it's so large and grandiose. That said, the rack that would probably be worth purchasing for most garage gym owners, and one I'm going to do a review on in comparison to the Rogue Monster rack, is the Sorinex XL rack. Okay, it's very similar. This one is just a little bit like less tall, it's a little bit shorter, and quite a bit cheaper. But that said, the BASECAMP Uber, in my opinion, if you're going to build a D1 strength facility, if you're a strength coach, if you're, with a pro team, anything like that, this is the rack you want. They're so customizable, they look awesome. Efficiency is the name of the game in your industry. You know this better than anybody, right? But you want racks that connect together. You can do any attachments, you can make up all your different workouts, do whatever you want. This is the rack you want. Okay, it's incredible. It's expensive, but it's incredible. You get what you pay for. But this has been Coop from GarageGymReviews.com. Thanks for watching. Do you like the more detailed style? If you do, let me know in the comments below, and we'll probably do more of these. If you don't, you like the more summarized version, no problem. Let me know in the comments below as well. What do you think about the new studio, right? Like, I've got this in the next door to my garage, and I've got the nice squat rack desk with the sweet background. I'm gonna be adding more stuff. If you think of any cool banners or whatever, link them down below. I'd like to see them. Or also what you think about it. But this has been Coop, again, from GarageGymReviews.com. But thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Peace.